everyone. Welcome back to Connect with Christina. My special guest today is Kika Winkle with CASA NOVA Development. And you have to say the rest of that.
CASA NOVA Development, remodeling and design. Although I never changed my last name, so my name is Varela.
Kika Varela.
Exactly.
But you're Mrs. Winkle to me.
I am, but...
Also, this is fun because a lot of people think you're Filipino.
Right.
But you're married to a Filipino.
Right.
Or
and I'm
half.
Mexican.
He's half, right?
Yeah.
And your background is full Latina?
A Mexican. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So Mexican from?
Born and raised in Arizona.
Okay. But you speak Spanish?
I do. Both of my parents are Mexican. My mom is from Mexico City. My dad is from Chihuahua. And I got to speak Spanish all my life. And
you can read and write that?
yes.
That's amazing.
Yes.
Yeah, it's cool. Like nowadays it's 2025 and people are really looking back, realizing how important and crucial it is when people can speak, different languages.
No, it is. My parents were very, very adamant about us only speaking Spanish at home. And that's all we spoke. Like, I personally didn't learn English until I was like 10. Yeah.
And did you find it difficult? No?
Yes and no, not really, because I grew up in a Latino and Mexican community, so I spoke Spanglish all the time, and when you're little,
we have that too. Yeah, it's called Taglish.
Yeah, and when you're little, you just kind of pick up words here and there, and so was it difficult? I think that when you're little, you just emerge into different, and you pick it up, but
it's kind of cool to see that perspective from your parents, because the other perspective for some, which I respect both, because it's obviously they're just trying to do the best for their kid, is there's your parent who really thought, hey, you know what, you're gonna speak Spanish at home so you never forget it, and then the other ones who feel like, you know what, I need you to speak English, forget Spanish, so that you won't have a difficult time integrating,
Yeah.
So, but now I'd say it's definitely a blessing when you speak a different language.
It is, especially when you're young. It's proven that when you're bilingual, you're using different parts of your brain. So both of my kids, I speak to them in Spanish. They understand it. They are going to a school where they're learning Mandarin. So they're like an immersion program where they learn Mandarin and English. Yeah, since they were in preschool.
Wow.
So because it is important to understand different cultures and different languages, and it just kind of prepares you for the real world, right? Because you're not
keyword, guys, the real world.
Yeah, you're not only used to like one group of people, right? And languages come with culture, right? Different food. So to me and Ryan, it's really important for us to. I personally love different cultures. So when I went to school, when I was in college, I always I belonged to every single group of friends. Like I was part of the Italians. Like I would go to the networking of the Italians, to the Brazilians, with the Asian. I was in the Asian coalition, So because I love different cultures and I love to learn, and so I want that for my kids too. And my kids have been used to that since they're little. They've been able to enjoy different cultures. So it's.
Are they learning Tagalog?
They are not.
Okay, but they're learning Mandarin.
Mandarin, because no one really speaks it in only Ryan's grandma. His mom doesn't speak it for the same reason. Like in the past, especially like for like certain generations, like the boomers and maybe older Gen Xers, like it was kind of looked down if you spoke Spanish or a different language, right? Because people didn't want you, like it was a lot of negative connotation if you were like Asian and you were speaking
your
another
own
language. Yeah, so it's
like speaking
or Spanish, or you should learn, all this negative things that come with certain aspects. But I don't think that is like that anymore.
No.
I think we're definitely evolving into a way where we're understanding that
now people want to learn more than two languages.
And most people, other countries do, right? Like if you're in Europe, they speak 4 languages, right?
Yes.
And the Filipinos, you speak English.
135 plus dialects too.
Exactly.
Like his grandma speaks Tagalog, right?
Right.
I speak Tagalog, but people can speak Visayan and Ilocano.
And Spanish.
Yeah, Spanish.
Or there's a mix of Spanish and Tagalog, right?
Yeah.
English, when I was in the Philippines, everybody spoke English and perfect English, right?
Yeah.
So it's I think it's a value to have it. For me personally, it's always helped me, especially right now in my business. It helps me 100%
Yeah.
because I'm bilingual, right? So I speak Spanish and English, and it's perfect because I can communicate with my subs,
Right.
and I can communicate with my customers, my clients, and so
Right.
it's a beautiful place to be for me.
I have to ask before I start asking you a bunch of other questions. How long have you been married with Ryan now?
10 years.
Okay, so in those 10 years, like what are some of your favorite things about getting to know the Filipino community?
Actually, if you don't know this, I introduced Ryan to the Filipino community.
What?
Yes.
Whoa.
Yes. Lem.
Was love him.
Yeah.
I love him. Attorney Lem Carlos, shout out.
Yeah. So he was one of my amazing friends. And he was like, I was like family to him. So he would always invite me to the Filipino events. And to me, again, Filipinos are just like Mexicans, you know? So our culture is very similar. We have a lot of things in common. When I married Ryan, and obviously Lem found out that he was Filipino, so he was so excited. And then we started bringing him to the Filipino events.
And look at him now.
Yes.
He could run for office.
Yes.
Wait, but what's your favorite thing?
About the Filipino community?
Yeah.
You know what? I love the Filipino women, and in a way that they're so happy. They have the spirit of like, they never give up. They're goddesses. They're all into beauty, right? But not in a shallow beauty way. Very smart women, and I admire that from the Filipino community.
And they all love you back.
No, well, I love them all.
Talk to me and share what Casa Nova is. I've been dying to know like all the stuff that you guys do because you're just like us doing a bunch of stuff all the time.
Yes.
So what is Casa Nova?
Casa Nova, we are a construction company. I'm a general contractor.
A woman general
Yes,
contractor.
A woman general contractor. Ironically, I didn't start my career in this. I went to school and I studied economics, and I worked in banking for 15 years. In my last position, I was doing financing for affordable housing, and working in that industry, like it made me find love for something that I wanted to do. I wanted to produce affordable housing for everyone. I think that no matter your social economics, I think that people deserve to live in a beautiful neighborhood. Mm-hmm. So what we do now, I started with Spice Girl remodeling, which it was with my sister and I, and there we focus a lot in remodeling kitchens and bathrooms, which it was great because I was learning the process of construction. I knew the process of financing and managing budgets of construction, but I didn't know the ins and outs of construction because that's a lot of work and that you need to know, right? And now we have transitioned into CASA NOVA Development, and we are going to be developing affordable housing. And right now we have partnered up with different cities, Scottsdale and Phoenix, where I am working with them, helping. In Scottsdale, I work with the program, which is dedicated for low-income families, and they grant money to help them fix their houses.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yes.
And the thing with those is like, I'm glad you're talking about that because sometimes, people don't know those things exist.
They don't, and it's a great program that Scottsdale has, and they go up to I believe up to $80,000 that they invest per house, and they make sure that if it's a home that needs. They do studies on what they need, which is electrical, windows, everything to get them up to code and to be sustainable too. Mm-hmm. So,
especially like if they're so old, like asbestos, all those
asbestos,
things.
yes, and there are
popcorn ceilings.
Yes, so there's a lot of right now. They're working a lot in South Scottsdale because those are the older homes, and those neighborhoods are considered by the census low income, and the reason they're considered low income is because there's a lot of people there that have been living in those neighborhoods for years, 30, 40 years. So are people that are retired, that are living in limited income from Social Security and their retirement pensions, right?
Yeah, so just because it's in Scottsdale.
Yeah.
Basically, yeah.
because they're investing in the neighborhoods,
Right.
so that they
that
keep up
makes sense.
with the neighborhood, and mostly that it's safe for people to live in their homes, because
Yeah.
we've helped a lot of people that it's just not safe that they're living in their homes, but they can't afford construction because construction cost is so high.
Right. Well, but that's a huge opportunity and project. How did you even land that? That's so cool.
Yeah. Well, I in my previous role as a financing housing, affordable housing, I worked a lot with cities and a lot of nonprofits. And so when I was making deals or financing developments, you have to partner up when it comes to affordability. You have to partner up with cities, nonprofits, and organizations that can that they want to do this project, right? And because of the cost of construction, you end up needing public funds. So that's where the cities come involved.
Wow.
When I was transitioning my company into a developer, I started looking for those opportunities and into cities. So.
But how do people apply for that?
For the city of Scottsdale, is through their neighborhood services, and I can provide that link for you.
Yeah, please. We'll give it to Justin because people need to know that exists.
Yes, and they also have emergency services. Like yesterday, we had to install an emergency HVAC system.
Wow.
Because the person didn't have their AC broke down, and we had to rewire their whole housing, new panels and new HVAC system because it's an emergency. So that's another program that is offered through the city, the emergency, which covers systems like their air conditioners and their roofing. So if you have an emergency and your insurance is not covering for it, there are options through programs like this.
That's huge. I'm glad. Anything else that's like a resource like that, send it to us and we'll add it.
Yes.
But is there another city you do this with too?
So right now, I'm also doing it with the city of Phoenix, and they owe a lot of single family homes. And what they were doing, they had a program that they were renting out those houses to low-income families. And that program's going to go away. So what they're doing right now is fixing up those houses and then selling them at a discount to people who qualify for the program as well. So it's also
I'm telling you, people don't know this stuff. So
Yes.
I'm glad you're here to share that.
Yeah, and I can also provide that because they're putting those houses in the market already, and they're
Is that a
discounted.
special website for that
Yes,
one?
also going through their neighborhood services, and I will send it to you.
We'll add it all on here. But then do you know what they look for to qualify? Or
Income based.
okay.
So I know that in the city of Scottsdale, their income is pretty, it's not very low. So I think that for a family of 4, they're looking at like $85,000. So if you that's basically like 2 working parents or like that might
And
have
then you
that
could
income.
qualify. And then for Phoenix?
They also go in the medium income, but the houses are still about $300,000, which is you still have to. So the income qualifier. I'm not exactly sure what's the income qualifier for them, but obviously they have to be able to sustain a payment.
Right.
Right. But you're still getting a less expensive home. They're instead of paying $400,000, now they're like.
Right.
320,
absolutely.
350.
And people
they have
do need
assistance.
help. I mean, Justin, have you known about this or have you heard of that? That's awesome.
Yeah, and as we know, like housing or properties is the only way that people create wealth, right? So it's giving opportunities of people that can't traditionally qualify through a bank, because I do believe they offer some sort of assistance on payments as well. So there are great programs that are out there.
Right. And then in the past, in my past, as far as my property management background,
Yeah.
I did work with Section 8. And there was like community bridges, but then there's obviously like the other stuff with that, like the mental health programs. And then what was the other one I really liked? Home Inc. Have you heard of that? But the Section 8 one, and then like the bond, I used to have to audit those bond files. Like you know what those are? It was like crazy. I had to go, it was cool. It was an experience for me.
Well, management companies, they are the ones that take on all the management of paperwork, because anything that it has to do with the federal government, like Section 8 or affordable housing,
Right.
there's a lot of paperwork that has to be, that is involved.
Right.
So there is a lot of paperwork
I'm
in
actually
management
glad
companies.
I got to experience that because it was literally like the nicest auditor too, Julie.
Yeah.
The nicest auditor. I think she had been auditing for years. This was City of Mesa.
Right.
And I was part of like the team where I had to audit files to make sure that they were, they'd already been approved, they live there, but they want to audit and make like almost like a forensic audit of, hey, did they really qualify? You know? And so, but when you talk about paperwork, it's like paperwork.
Yeah, and like you said, that they have to make sure that they're auditing correctly, right?
Yeah.
And that, I think that's also like a misconception. Like when we're thinking about affordable housing, we're thinking like some people think it's like Section 8, but really right now, affordable housing is for a normal person, like a teacher, a firefighter,
Single
a nurse,
parents,
a single
yeah.
parent. Like you don't
I think
have
that's
to
important to emphasize that.
Right.
It's true.
It's true. And a lot of people, like, for example, Scottsdale, like they've had a lot of issues with affordable housing, bringing affordable housing, because people think, oh, my neighborhood's gonna invite certain type of people, or
Yeah,
there's
I
a
know what you
misconception
mean.
of,
Right.
of affordable housing, but
Right.
nowadays affordable housing is just for someone that just got out of college.
Yeah, it's not even what they think anymore. Things have changed.
Yeah,
Like,
'cause
it's not. Yeah.
There's no way that like, or someone who's getting out of college, even if you're an engineer, that they usually get out of college with a
Some
good
sort of,
salary,
yeah.
but you can't afford because you come out of $100,000 in debt, and then start paying right away, and then you go into a mortgage
with
that
all
you
your
can't
loans
afford.
still.
Right.
I'm glad you shared that. That's so true. Because yeah, you're right. It's not when you say affordable housing, it doesn't all instantly just define this group. It's like
It's all of us.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all of us. Like there's a huge population of people in their 20s right now, right, that they can't afford to buy a home, right? And they're still living with their parents and older boomers. In fact, they might look up, down on them like, oh, they can't afford a house. But yeah, you bought a house at $50,000. Right now, houses like an apartment is $300,000. So there's
even apartments are expensive.
Yeah.
And obviously I don't want to get into like the homeless situation because obviously that's the one big passion I have. But
there is, and I'm actually working on a project for that, and I'll find out soon.
I would love for you because you're one of the goddesses.
Oh, thank you.
And you like to give back to the community. So I'm going to say it out loud that, I hope that one day Casa Nova, you, and obviously, Ryan as well, like where if we can get a grant passed, to help more of our homeless people and not just like that's why it's like a loaded thing for me, right?
Yes.
Because you have to look at, first of all, how do you prevent them from being homeless? Because you can't just fix that and Band-Aid it, right?
No.
But then I feel like Casa Nova, and if you get grants together, maybe there can be a temporary thing of like, I've seen somewhere it's like a tin housing where they can have a serene place to just feel like a person, go cool off, go shower, and then, and I can have you back here for another topic on this homeless thing because I'm super passionate about it. And I know you are, and Ryan, because you've always helped in that space. In fact, I remember you guys coming to help feed the homeless with me. But there's just it's not like a one thing solution, there's so many pieces to it.
There is.
And I think for you, like, obviously if we can reach more monies and get grants for this, like you'd be perfect because you already know. But I just feel like we can come back and like look at all the different areas. But one thing that resonated with me when I was in property management was good intention, bad result, right? Where it's like we provided housing, like a ton. It was like, I want to say, it was a ton. I'll leave it at that.
Right.
But what we got was destroyed apartments. And, my point is they weren't ready.
Right. And I think that the homeless community is something, it has many stages, right? Because all of us are one paycheck away from being homeless,
Yeah.
right? So you can lose your mortgage within a month, right?
People
'Cause
get
most
in a car accident.
Yes, and
you know,
I've seen people that have a job and they still have to live in their cars, right? And I do see the other side, but then it's when you're creating a housing or for a service, there has to come with services, right? And it's not just housing. I think that like communities, like perfect communities, even when planned communities for wealthy people, they come with the gym, they come with a library,
Clubhouse.
yes, and so there's amenities for people to stay in the neighborhood, for people to be proud of their community, right? And so when you're creating affordable housing, you have to put in those things. So you're not just creating a box for people to live in, you're creating a community. And that's the difference. And when you're like Section 8, right? So there's not an ownership to people for people to want to keep things nice, or what's the ownership of why should I do this, right? When, I'm getting the government to pay for something, right? So where is the ownership? So, and a lot of the time there's also like a lot of bad owners of landlords, right? That they rather not invest in their community. But I think that those problems can be managed. Not all of them, right? Because nothing can be managed 100%. But it can be managed when you're creating a sense of community and for people to be proud. And also, like, I believe in ownership. So giving people the ability to eventually own that property,
that's
right?
huge. I mean, ultimately, like that's the dream, right?
Right, because everybody has that dream, right?
Deserves that.
Yeah, and if you're giving people the ability of, okay, if you keep it, for so long, can you purchase that property?
Right. Yeah, things like that. But again, to my point, when we had that, it was like good intention, bad result, because it was a beautiful program. You created the apartment, got it ready for them, got qualified them. There was a budget to buy them like, necessities, sofas, table, bed, like toasters, all that. But my point was, they missed a step in there because they weren't ready yet.
Yeah.
They needed to be, going through a program to get them ready so that we didn't have what we had,
Right.
which was we ended up just removing all of it.
Yeah, and that's exactly what you have to have a community centers, right? And be able to help people, helping them with their understanding, like simple things as financials, right? Like we get out of high school or college, and most kids don't know how to write a check or do their bookkeeping.
They don't know about credit.
They don't, right? So it's providing
Resumes.
those, exactly. So it's providing those services, and it's a education, right? Like, and like you said, it's a good intention, but it has disadvantages if you're not, if it's not a community. But I understand that not everybody can, offer that.
Right. But I just love that Casa Nova is like such a big part of that, because that's something I could see in the future, right? Or maybe it's something we advocate for, but like a general contractor that's aware of all the phases of this.
Yeah.
It's kind of neat.
This is why I love what I do. It's not about, oh my God, I want to become this developer and make billions of dollars. Like, no, it's about the impact that you're having in a community, because I think that I feel like money without a cause is empty money, right? So I
Profit with purpose.
Exactly.
Profit with purpose.
And where who's benefiting, because I see it as a whole. Like, are my employees making good money, right? Because I don't want the people that work for me to not be able to afford a house, right? So everything, how I see it is about being equitable with everybody and being able to maintain
We just provide
living and opportunities, right?
Yeah.
So when it comes to who's living in those homes and how it's benefiting everybody around it, because I do believe that there's enough of everything for everyone.
Right. That's true. But I want to manifest that Casa Nova will be responsible for more cooling shelters,
Yes.
Because, I mean, we need it. It's hot. They're people, they're someone's mom, dad, brother, child. Like it just, but it's cool to know that that's what you do because I really didn't know exactly. Are you familiar with Home Inc? Or not Home Inc? I'm sorry, You Mom.
Oh, okay, yes, yes.
I love them. I
Yes.
was more involved with them like in when I was still in the apartment communities, and then we recently, as a team, went and like toured it again, met some amazing people, and I was able to kind of reconnect with them. But there's. I'm just saying this now, so I'm gonna invite you. But we are hoping to sponsor like one of the galas. You should come with us.
I would love to. I love what they do, and I love. I met actually women that have gone in those with you mom, and I love it because it's single moms that need help, and that's an example of an organization that can create housing and community because then you have a bunch of women. But I always think that women are goddesses. They should be running the world, I think. Okay. So let me just give you a little sample with my Ryan and I. Well, he has chickens. And
chickens?
Our chickens.
Okay, I know where to ask for eggs.
No,
but
not anymore
skyrocket.
because our chickens had a bunch of roosters.
Oh.
And they kill all the chickens.
Oh.
So I feel like that's like it's a representation of like a bunch of males that, like roosters, and they were so aggressive with like chickens were creating life and love, eggs every morning. And they had a bunch of roosters and they went and killed them. So now we have like 5 roosters, which we're going to have to eat them or kill them or something. But anyway, going back to it, like I just do see that women have more passion and in a level of helping because I think that we're
it's internal, like we're born with that, like that nurturing
and manifesting like good for everyone, not just like and like me kind of way. Yeah.
And honestly, like I appreciate that because I think that instead of bringing people down, we're supposed to help each other. Yeah. And on my Instagram little note, I did put like a couple of days ago, woman to woman, I hope you win. And I got like a ton of messages from other women,
right?
And so, and it's nice that, you're successful, but you don't stop there. You want to bring people up with you. And I've known that since I've met you. I've known you and Ryan.
And I respect everything that you do. Like, I'll say that ever since I met you, I'm like, that's like, if I look up to a goddess, that's you. Like, because I love your energy, you always bring good vibes. Like it's never like there's no competition. And I'll be honest, I haven't met many women that are like evil women that are, and I guess growing up, they would always tell us that women were jealous and of each other. They would pin us and get against each other. But I was like, why? Like I have so many, I have so many girlfriends and yes, we're always talking about how to improve the world.
Yeah, it's true. And I mean, honestly, like women, I couldn't imagine my going through life without all my amazing friends, right?
Right.
And to the point where like when you're raising your own, you do kind of remind them and teach them how important it is to keep these relationships. Because some of young people that I see, God, that makes me sound old now.
Yeah, I know.
I do try to tell them like, hey, like, it's great that you're in a relationship, but take it slow.
Yeah.
Don't forget about those friends, especially your women friends, because if that relationship goes south, you always have to have your friends. That's who you go to.
Well, your friends, and even when if you're having issues through your relationship, like you need a support system, and
it's a balance.
And exactly. And you can't go and tell your parents or your sisters or your brothers because then they're going to grow resentment towards your partner, right? So for me, especially like having an amazing group of girlfriends, like support systems, it's been great. And it's also been proven that you age slower when you have friends. So
there you go,
guys. That's why I think that's why millennials, like older millennials, younger Gen Xers look younger because we socialized our whole life. That's all we did.
Shout out to my lovely ladies. But I think we're all Gen Xers.
But also, I'm an older millennial. But it's like there's this thing where like Gen Z is aging faster than older millennials or in Gen Xers. Yeah. So I think it's because friends and being social, like when we were young, like or when we were in our 20s, we party and we
Right.
always had a
Together.
group. Yes, we
That
always
energy,
had a
that
well, like
synergy.
you always have you always try to maintain a group of people, right? And be happy and that keeps you young. So I think that's important for girls and even men. Like men need their friends too.
Yes. Yes, Justin. You need Jordan. Honestly, I'll have to have you come back again.
Yes.
You know,
I can talk for
I'm
her.
super proud of you.
Likewise.
And we'll see you again next time. But we want to know more about the Casa Nova thing. So we'll share as much as possible and we'll bring you back.
Yeah, and then remember that my opening party, September 5th.
Okay. I'll have to make sure I'm in town.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we will see you soon.
Yes.
And thank you. Bye, guys.